My name is Supo. I'm a minister in David Christian Center. I have the privilege and the great honor of pastoring the Caleb Alternative Church in David Christian Center. Okay, well, when it comes to my academic, my background is engineering. I did chemical engineering, and from chemical engineering, I made a switch to transport management. I have my MSc in transport management. Then I also have my second master's in business admin. That's MBA from Obafemi Awolowo University. I had 10 years experience in the banking industry, and from the banking industry, I moved to telecommunications for about 4 years. From IHS, I moved to the oil and gas. So in oil and gas, I was there for just a year plus before moving to where I am now, which is a Nigerian bottling company, the makers of Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite, and the rest. I'm also a chartered member of Transport and Logistics, also Chartered Institute of Bankers, that's CIBN. We never stop learning, not really because we need a certificate, because it's also an aspect of personal improvement, which helps you in your church work. It helps you in God's work also. I'm also very actively involved in my wife's businesses. I give her maximum support, and we run it together like a family business. Despite all this, the most important thing to me is what I do in church. I remember how I joined David Christian Center. I just came from a trip from Togo. A trip that I was meant to go to Canada, but Canada it didn't work. I did all I could. I was in Togo, I was in Ghana, I was in Abidjan, and they even did a send-forth party for me in Lagos, said that I've traveled to Canada, but I had to come back home. So as at the point when I got home, I was depressed. I was very depressed. I was dejected, I was very sad, and I didn't even go out for days. Then somebody gave me Pastor K's tape. I listened to the tape and I was asking, is this Bishop Oyedepo? Sounds, I said, no, it's fine. I said, where is this church? And they told me that the church is right in Festa, close to my house. So the next service, I was there, and I remember the first service, and Papa was shouting, I can never be sick. I was like, man, this is the place I've been looking for. And ever since then, I've plugged into the service. I worked with Pastor Peter. We went on evangelism together. I was involved in the prayer department, and through my journey, in David Christian Center, I also met my wife, my beautiful wife. Now, the way and how it happened, there was so many stories behind it. But I remember it was after service, and we have Pastor Biodun, he just introduced me to her. And from handshake, we started talking, and everything happened, and I'm so blessed. We have 3 boys, 14 years, 12 years, and 4 years. God has been awesome. That's an integral part of the journey of my life in DCC. The fact that I met my helper, my destiny helper, my wife, things have never remained the same. Yeah, my son, Funto Arugundade, he was recently baptized during the last baptism that we did in church. And I wasn't even the one that persuaded him to join the baptism. And, he already had the knowledge. He understood exactly what it means to be baptized by immersion. He understood the meaning of being born again, giving your life to Christ. And all this information were consolidated and made available, not just from the family at home, but also from the preserved generation. That's the Children's Church of David Christian Center. This is part of the importance of being grounded in a church. Now, you are able to pass down God's knowledge from generation to generation. Also, one of the very fundamentals is that me and my wife, we are also very actively involved in the church. So it's not just that I'm involved in church. She's also involved in church, which is also very important in our journey in David Christian Center. I met her working in the church. She was in the drama unit. She was on stage. I can't remember the play, but they did one very interesting play. But it was only her I was seeing during the whole play. She's now the head of the Singles Fellowship in David Christian Center. And from there, I was moved to be the pastor in charge of the Caleb Church. And the Caleb Church is for elders, 60 years and above. And we started it about 5 years ago. When we started, we were just 3 people, 3 elders. We have just 3 to 5 elders, because David Christian Center is just majorly young people. So finding elderly people in the midst of young people was like almost an impossible task, but the journey has been very interesting. Like now we have an average of 250 elders that attends our programs. So when we have couples working together in the church also, it helps because we are able to encourage one another. We are able to strengthen one another in your work in church. Knowing fully well that God actually pays you in this work that you do in the church. He might not pay you by cash, but He pays you by grace. He opens doors for you. It facilitates things to happen in your life. It makes things to be easy for you, and He sends you helpers of destiny. You will make time for what is important to you. When you value something and you recognize the value of something, then you will create time for it intentionally. When we put God at the center of our lives, it helps us to, when God is at the center of our life, it balances every other thing. Your spiritual life is balanced, your health life is balanced, your work life is balanced, your financial life is balanced. No other aspect of your life can take the place and be at the center. The center of your life is meant for only God. When God occupies that center, every other thing will fall in place. That is basically the summary of the story of my life. Everything I've been doing, either my businesses, my work, they will never take the place of my service in God's house.